Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your girl, Constance Carter, and this is Fly Nubian Money. I'm so excited because we have something that I think we are all interested in. What y'all say, Queens? Are you guys interested in today's topic? Because I think this is some good tea, but it's also, every time we talk, we always want to talk about, how we can really empower ourselves as Black women, as queens in the Black community. But today, we're going to talk about having to walk away from relationships. Have you ever had to walk away? Was there ever a time that you had to walk away? We're going to get really personal and talk about something that many of us have faced in our own relationships, knowing when it's time. This was inspired by Cardi B's decision to divorce Offset after dealing with repeated infidelity. We're going to share our own experiences, and we are going to discuss how we can recognize when enough is enough and explore the importance of self-worth in any relationship. So join me today as I talk to our amazing co-queens, Miss Moya. Hey, Moya, she is a tax strategist, right? You're a tax professional. Miss Erica Lewis, who is the author of Faith in Action, the producer extraordinaire. Miss Tiara Williams, who is a Hollywood producer and all things Black girl magic, baby. And Athena Wealth. Athena Wealth. We're going to change your name to Athena Wealth.
Listen,
Athena,
I'm not mad at it.
I love it. Who is a CPA and she is the author, or she's the CEO of We Wealth Women. So let's get into it, ladies. Let's talk about it. What do you guys think about all this tea of what's going on with Miss Cardi B? And this is a dialogue, not a monologue, everybody. So we like for you to talk back to us and talk Black to us. So we want to know what your thoughts are in the comments as well. But y'all, I'm gonna start with you, Miss Erica. What you think?
This goes back to something I said not long ago. She is part of what I call the partnership platform. Her partnership is a part of her platform. It makes her money. She has a 360 deal that she signed. And for those of you that don't know what a 360 deal is, a 360 deal, your label gets a piece of anything that you do, not just music, but TV appearances, print, sales in magazines, you name it, whatever your name is attached to, the label gets a piece of it. That nice 360 deal. So maybe the label was getting a piece of her marriage.
What do you mean? Speak on it.
Well, marriages make money.
Okay.
They make appearances. They go places together. They're at the Met Gala. They're on the red carpet. They make it an appearance here. It makes money. They were also married 7 years. 7 is the number of completion.
So they're done.
They're done.
Speaking of the number of completion, my son's name is Camille. Camille is Swahili for completion. He was our last child. His middle name is 7, which is also the number of completion. So when I tell you I was done having kids on my 4th, I was done.
And I just believe this is pretty much it. I mean, it's unfortunate, but we have to also look back. She is able to maintain, I believe, her relevancy without him.
Okay, let me ask you, Tiara. Do you think that this marriage was a business deal?
I don't. I mean, I think that Cardi definitely loved Offset. I think she intentionally went in thinking like exactly what she said. I want to be a good wife. I want to have his children. I want forever. You know what women walk into situations saying, like, I want to be able to trust this person, even though we're all married. I mean, even though we're both famous, maybe this can be real. You know what I mean? And I just happened to really quick, in my aunt's ex-husband, he passed away from cancer, but his niece used to be Cardi B's publicist. So sometimes I'd be talking to my aunt, she'd be like, yeah, I was talking to Cardi last night and she was crying on FaceTime, and I was telling her that she just has to, she wants to, with the same issues. I mean, this was like years ago, like dang near in the beginning, that they've been going through this thing. So personally, just kind of with that being around my family, I just I noticed I have never been on the phone or seen a FaceTime from Cardi B, but I know that my aunt, has talked to her directly and tried to like coach her. So, it's just something that I've been hearing and buzzing around. And I just know that she loved him and she wanted that to work.
Athena, do you think that this whole idea of her being with him 7 years was some type of maybe business decision, or maybe the Illuminati was involved, right? Because there are those theories.
Listen, we love to blame everything on the Illuminati, okay? And when people stop making their Illuminati checks like Diddy, then you have problems. But anyway, I don't think so, because I think Cardi is the bigger star in this situation. Granted, when they first got together, Cardi B was just getting her career started on Love and Hip Hop, and she just released her mixtape, so she was not as popping as him. This is before she got a bag and bought new teeth and everything. So I think that in the beginning it was probably beneficial for her, but she's immediately surpassed him once Bodak released. She's the one who has, I think, a lot more to lose in this divorce, actually. But I hope that the ladies and everyone who's watching will understand that nothing will keep a man to you. You cannot keep a man. Contrary to what people say, he has to be one to be kept by you. So I guess the WAP wasn't doing what it needed to do.
The WAP wasn't whopping? What?
The WAP wasn't whopping. Listen, you can have the best WAP on earth and a man will still play in your face. So
I'm trying to tell you, you can give him sex 2 times a day, 7 days a week, and he gonna do what the hell he want to do. And first of all, I want to give a shout out to Miss Tierra Williams right now, because you know what? I love the fact that she is doing that. This is a shout out to Black women of a certain age that is going through the change, baby. Come on, this is live. I want to give you a shout out, honey, because she is over there making it happen, baby. She said,
"I'm not going through the change yet, but I'm gonna tell you this: it's 1,000 degrees in LA, and I live in the valley. Now you know about that. Don't blame that on my age, sis. Don't do that."
As a woman of a certain age, the change is changing.
Listen, I remember last week, I think Erica, her hair started out like this, and by the time we was done, it's
I look like a head of cabbage.
Live stream don't wait for nobody, baby. Come on. I love it.
Go ahead, continue.
Miss
A pre-certain age, Jesus.
What'd you say, Tierra?
I'm a woman of a pre-certain age.
Okay, pre-certain age. All right.
I'm pre-certain.
Moya, what are your thoughts around what's going on with Cardi B from what you gather from the outside looking in? Because we're on the outside looking in, right? So we really don't know what's really going on. But what do you think? Them hot flashes got her fan, and listen.
And you're right, Constance, we are from the outside looking in. And so one of the things that really sticks out to me is the fact of just the change in the dynamic. Remember, a man really enjoys coming into a relationship and kind of like rescuing or saving you. So in the beginning, when she's just starting out and they have so much momentum and fame, and you see this young, cute woman out here really hustling, like her first time that she went on tour, she used her own money. So you're like, whoa, I see you. I appreciate you. And so you want to honor that and help her. But once, as Athena said, once it quickly flipped, and you also have to remember, as a woman, you also show up, once it flips, you still want to maintain what you had, and you want him to keep him feeling like a man. And when you keep him feeling like a man, you have to bring yourself down in terms of how you feel. So therefore, she wasn't able to show up authentic in her relationship anymore, because she's attempting to push herself down so he can still feel like a man, and him still grappling with what it means to feel like a man when the tables have clearly changed and her making more money than him. So I think it's her and him not being able to authentically be their true self, him wanting to come in and save someone and her wanting to still be this woman that needs help. But in reality, it's flipped.
Girl, I love what you said about that. You know what? And that can be on any level, any socioeconomic status, about men wanting to be the savior. And when women don't need them in a certain way, they feel like, okay, well, let me go find someone lesser, right? Let me go find a chick in the projects. Let me go find the Section 8 chick.
Rachetta.
Let me go find the Section 8 chick so that I can feel like I can teach her some things, because I cannot teach this woman that I'm with any longer. And that is because men, when women cheat, what do? We gonna cheat up. When men cheat, more than likely, come on, can I get a witness, ladies? Men cheat down. They do. But they cheat to where they feel, they feel more important. They feel more empowered. They got somebody looking up at them like, they the shit. They have somebody looking up at them like they're a hero. So I understand that, but it's also our responsibility, ladies, as women, as helpmeets, as their partners, to ensure that they, that they still feel like they're our heroes, right? But we can't make an insecure man feel secure if he's already insecure. Ain't nothing we can do about that. That's roll that beautiful footage, y'all.
That's right. And he's been cheating.
That's what I want. That's why I wanted to go to
the. Like,
that's why I want.
When she was broke, he was cheating. When she wasn't broke, he was cheating. Like, he was just a cheater. Like, he wasn't.
Because she said,
didn't have regard.
She said every month
since they've been together.
Let's roll that footage. So she said that in the video.
Because you will fucking talk to a nigga and a motherfucker will play in your fucking face, over and over and over and over and over again. And she'll be like, watch what I'm about to do. Watch what I'm about to say. And it's so fucking sad that a nigga like to, this motherfucker really likes to play games with me when I'm at my most vulnerable time. When I'm not the most confident. He likes to play games with me because he knows I'm not an easy girl. He knows. Yesterday, I could have been out. I could have been chilling. I could have been this and that. He knows I'm in my house. He knows that I'm chilling. He knows I'm not doing the most. And I've really been sparing you. You've been fucking feeling yourself, you bitch ass nigga, because of your bitch ass album and shit. And you really been fucking doing me dirty after so many fucking years that I motherfucking helped your ass. Not even a fucking thank you that I got for your bitch ass. And it's so crazy that I gotta go to the fucking internet because whenever I tell you something, you don't take shit seriously.
Yeah, this don't sound like a business decision. That sounds like real deal heartbreak. And that is extremely sad, right? Yeah. that ain't.
I digress.
Right. No, those were really emotions, Erica. What do you think about that?
It's unfortunate because I see this a lot. Just hearing the pain in her voice, not even what she's saying, but just the pain in her voice and the delivery. She wanted this more than he did. She did. She wanted this more than he did. And she thought the kids would change. She thought if I worked harder, this would change. She thought if I, it has nothing to do with you. He has to change.
Right.
You both got married. We have to change. Not you change and I benefit off the marriage. We have to change. And after a while, you just get tired. 7 years is a long time. Women mature quicker than men do anyway. When we get married, we quickly go from being single, I'm a wife. Everything stops. Everything foolishness, everything I used to do with the girl stops. I'm not going to spend $3,000 on shoes anymore. Stops. I might spend $300, but not $3,000. Like, we just alter our lives. Men don't do that. They still have their play dates. Men still go out and play.
Erica, I feel like he sold her a dream.
Yeah,
and
he did.
Armando, look at this comment over here. Armando Walls, he said, for the majority, cheating is deep in the culture of hip hop. And for some reason, we think this will have no consequence. And it's deep in, I think it's deep in Black culture.
It is.
I think our men, unfortunately, and I want you guys to chime in, audience, and ladies, what do you think? Because for Black American men, right? Because they say, men are not meant to be monogamous. I've heard that men aren't meant to be monogamous, but why in other cultures can men be monogamous?
It seems to work for them.
It seems to work for them. It's because we give them excuses and passes. But what do you think, Athena? Because you are a woman from another country and you've had experiences dealing with men from all over the place. What are your thoughts about how that is?
This reminds me of a conversation I had with my father and also with this woman group that I'm in. I don't think it's unique to Black men. I think men have a hard time not wanting to explore women. I'm going to say it like that. And the chances of a man being faithful to you throughout the duration of your relationship, unfortunately, is not very high. So what I did, I exercised with women before. I said, okay, say you get married for 30 years, right? Say the duration of your marriage, you're 30, 40 years old, and you expect to be married for at least 30 years. So if you do 30 times 365 days, that's 10,950 days. So out of that 10,950 days, it only take one incidence for him to cheat on you out of those 10,950 days. So the odds are not in your favor. So
here you go. Here you go with the stats and the facts.
The odds are do the math now.
Okay, so with that being said, let me ask Moya. Some people say all men cheat. I say maybe all men don't cheat, but all men have cheated. What do you think?
Well, what's the difference between don't cheat and cheated? You mean
they've cheated in their life, but maybe they don't cheat on everybody. Maybe they're 82 now, and now they decide to settle down.
Well, so for me, it was really different because we were together. I'm divorced. We were together for 14 years, and nothing happened until the very end when we decided to not be together. There was nothing in that area. So I don't know if all men cheat. I do know, though, that it's really based upon you as a woman. And so I wouldn't necessarily say all men cheat because I haven't experienced that.
All right. Go to the comments. Christopher Ellis said, when you deal with low vibrational people, you get low vibrational treatment. I never thought to cheat in my marriage. I wasn't raised that way. Tiara, what do you think about that comment? He said that, all men don't cheat because he wasn't raised to cheat. He's not a low vibrational person. Is it culturally just like who was that? Armando said, is it culturally just in the hip hop culture? Is it in the Black culture? What do you think about, men in their fidelity? Are they able to be faithful?
Yeah, I do. I think that men can be faithful. I just think it depends on his intention, his vision. And I think when you're starting to have conversations with men about what they want in life and where he's going, and men, especially these days, I've been in these streets lately, and it's just like men will tell you exactly what it is. I told you I met somebody and we was kind of talking, and he was like, "Yeah, I mean, my ex-wife introduced me to swinging, and so I think I like it. You want to swing?" No, I don't want to swing. I don't want to swing with you. I don't want that. Right. So I think the men now are very straightforward. Listen, we can have a situationship. If you willing to take that, then cool. I think it's women who, like you said earlier, that want to well, if I stay, maybe he'll change. If I do this, if I pour my entire life source, all of my energy into this person, he'll see that I'm valuable. He'll see and he'll change and he'll be inspired by all of my actions. Man, no, he won't. Like somebody was saying earlier, it's like it just, and then you walk away and you end up like a skeleton of yourself because you've given so much of yourself to another person. When he told you in the beginning, I told you, sis, I really didn't want that. And you was like, okay, well, I'll wait until maybe you're ready. And no.
But that's the thing though, is like you see red flags in the beginning. Before we go there though, I because I think no, it's so hard to kind of gauge what a person's going to do, because you think, okay, there were red flags, because hindsight is always 2020, but then you're like, but how? Because he presented this way, because he sent his representative, and I believed him. And so what should I have done differently as a woman to be able to recognize that this nigga wasn't this person wasn't anything?
You don't always know. I'm not saying it like I've never been in a situation where I feel like when I look back at it, it was like I shouldn't have did that, because we're all growing. We're all, I was young, and even not being young, you're like, okay, but I like this person. You kind of like trick yourself into kind of like you manipulate yourself. He doesn't even have to do the work. It's like you do it to yourself, and then you're like, okay, but whatever it is that you want, you can kind of like make yourself believe that. And so I just think women do that a lot more often than men. I don't know if men do that at all.
And I think a lot of times as women, we fall in love with their representative. We fall in love with the guy we met in the beginning, not the man he is, but who we met. And we keep holding on to the fact of, yeah, that's who I met. That's him. He'll change. He'll go back to that. That's him. He's just going through this phase right now. No, that was his representative. And now that he's in that nook in your life. He's catty cornered and he's positioned and he's holding on. Yeah, he's in here for the ride, but he's getting ready to take you through some shit.
Y'all, man. Go ahead, Tiara.
I just want to add to this. We also fall in love with potential.
Yeah.
We'll see a man and be like, "Oh,
listen." At my ripe age of 48,
life.
At my ripe old age of 48,
no potential. You gotta be potent.
You gotta be potent.
Maybe the word of day should be potent. We need a seed of potential,
right? Because if I'm 48, still trying to see a brother's potential, the problem is with me. But especially for these younger ladies, and I was just having a conversation. I was driving back last night. I went to take my son to college, and we got him home at 4:00 this morning. But I was just having a conversation with my daughter about that, and I said, the problem is that we'll give it up so quick, right? The man that sent his representative, and we didn't gave it up. We didn't got digmatized, and now these red flags, they feeling like Six Flags because you feeling the mother. And because you digmatized. So all the things that he's doing, you see him through rose-colored glasses, because now it's like a spirit is over you, the spirit of digmatization, and you don't see nothing. And then it's not until like you go through this whole cycle that you finally realize this man wasn't ish. And then you have to pull yourself out of that. But by that, you had, your trauma bond, and now that you've had your soul tie, right? Your soul tie, because you've prematurely engaged. And so I was just telling her, I know it's not popular these days to wait, but guess what, everybody giving it up. So guess what waiting does? It makes you different. Number one. Number two, say you waited 90 days. A man can't send can only have his representative for so long. Right? That representative is going to be gone within the first couple months. So if you decided to wait, by the time you gave it up, he going to show you who he really is. And then you will not have to have gone through all that you've been through by getting digmatized prematurely. So anyway, we are watching Fly, and I know more you want to speak on it, but let me just say this real quick. I spoke to your heart. We're watching Fly Nubian Money, you guys. Make sure that you subscribe to our channel, and if you want to get alert every time we come on, please text word Queens to 87948. That's QUEENS to 87948. And you can listen to us every day on Spotify. Just search for the Fly Nubian Money. Every day we're on at 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific. And if you want to grow your money and not blow your money, go to flynubianmoney.com for financial resources and courses. And hopefully, Moya, you held that thought, because I want to hear what you got to say, baby.
So I think it's more than like digmatized and representative. I think it's what Tiara was saying, in the sense of it's what we want to see as women. Like going back to that time where we had that clip of that woman begging for a husband. Obviously, I'm not saying Cardi B was in this position, but it's what we want to see. We want to be married. We want to be in love. We want to have a man. And so it's not so much his representatives there. It's who you wanted him to represent to you. And therefore, you allowed yourself to be caught up in this whole image of, look at me, I'm in this relationship. So that way you can have someone and you can have the family that you truly desire. It's us as women pushing our desires out there more than who the man is presenting himself to be. It's who we want him to be.
Yep, that's true. So Erica, what do you think? Do you think women should wait a little bit before they engage sexually? What are your thoughts around that? Or do you think, because my daughter was like, well, I believe in love at first sight. I think if it feels right, it feels right. What do you think?
Yeah, you got to put brother on pause. You got to wait it out. You got to see what some things are. You got to ask some questions, because people are not being honest. And you know what? It's a lot more to lose out here than just your feelings.
Ooh.
Wait.
I want you to say that one more time for the people in the back.
There's a lot more to lose in this than just your feelings.
Hold on, right there, ladies. Lean in. Lean in. I want you to hear that real quick. Lean in. Everybody, lean in. Lean in. Moy, lean in. Moy, lean in. We all leaning in. Say that again, Erica.
There's a lot more to lose than just your feelings.
Boom. All right.
There's a lot at stake.
You see, Cardi B done lost her mind. She done lost
exactly.
Her, like, when you find an instrument.
She's lost her mind, and now she's got three children she's got to take care of. She's pregnant. The ramifications of her emotional imbalance could affect this baby. He don't care.
He don't care.
Guess what? He got 5 other kids with 5 other women. He okay? And see, this is the thing that we have to understand, and I keep saying this. Ladies, when we have children for these men, we are extending their lineage. We are extending their lineage. We have got to stop. You cannot continue to do that, and you're not reaping the benefits of it. Because if we think about it, let's just think. Those children are more his than yours. You carried them, but he put them there.
So let me ask you this, Tiara. Have you ever had your heart broken? Because I hear the heartbreak in her voice. Yes. And if you did, how long did it take you to recover?
Yeah.
Erica, mute yourself, please. Erica, mute yourself, baby. Erica. Mute her. Go ahead, mute her.
Is she there? What is happening? Let me mute her. She's muted. I don't know what just happened. Okay, because live is real.
Live is real.
To answer your question, I definitely have been heartbroken.
I'll be out in a minute.
She just unmuted herself to say that. Girl, you're talking all on the mic to the people in the back, lady.
Are you talking to me?
Yes.
You're talking to co-workers and handing people papers. And girl, if you don't get off this live with that, like, what you doing? That's what you doing. Okay. I done lost my have I been in love? Yes. I think, it's so interesting because I think it takes women longer to recover from heartbreak, and that thing can last anywhere from 2 to 3 to 4 years depending on who you are and what the situation was. I don't think it takes men usually, like when they date women, they go back out in the streets, they break up, they go to the streets. Women stay home and eat ice cream and bonbons or whatever we do, and we like mull over why it didn't work, and meanwhile he outside. And so you know what I was gonna say though while I have the floor. I wanted to just add this to the conversation that in the music industry, it is very popular right now, or it's trendy to try to find to be like a Jay-Z and Beyonce kind of thing. People in the industry want to find their Beyonce. And so I think Cardi and Offset like fit into that niche where we both getting it, we can work together, we can do this thing. But most of the time, Beyonce got cheated on too. You know what I'm saying? Like, Beyonce.
I mean, let's be honest. Halle Berry got cheated on.
Yeah.
By all her husbands.
Yeah. Something was going on with that cat. Athena, have you ever been heartbroken? Only Tiara caught that. Have you ever been heartbroken, and what was your recovery time?
Have I been heartbroken? Yes. My recovery time, at least a year. I would say at least a good year, to deal with the feelings. But as I said to the women earlier, the odds are against you. I'm not saying that men are incapable of being faithful. I do think where his level of maturity and age does have a factor in it, but the odds are still kind of against us in that regard because of male nature. What I will say is this, and this is a counter argument, but a thought that I feel like we should discuss. Does Cardi B have any accountability in this? Because she was the 4th woman in the lineup. You already had 3 kids and 3 baby mamas. So there's a point where, okay, we have to identify people's patterns and how they move. He's clearly okay with creating all these families, because I do consider when a man does have a child with someone, you creating a family, whether you stay or not, that's a family now that's either broken in that kind of way. So did she feel like she was going to be any different, or the WAP was going to do something, or Offset was, you know, some people are calling him off cheat, like he's known to be a cheater. Like, you know, I think that's something that we need to consider, especially as women, especially with our community and baby mama culture. I can understand if like a man leaves or you guys break up, but if you already see a pattern, kind of like Sierra, she saw a pattern too, and thought that maybe she was Sierra, maybe it would have skipped her. Do we need to hold ourselves accountable for the children we create with these men that have patterns of this behavior?
Yeah, that is a good question. Let me ask you before I ask another question. But Moya, have you been cheated on, or have you had your heart broken? I don't want to say cheated on. Have you had your heart broken, and what was the recovery time for you?
Yeah, I mean, so it's so interesting. So from my marriage for so many years, it was really quick. But I was in a situationship, and it feels like that is so long. And like Tiara said, he showed it in the very beginning of who he was. I just think it's just
Dickmatized.
putting it out there of like, oh my gosh, I really want this to work. And I think I'm going to be the magic sauce to change this. When in reality, he said who he was and he said what he was.
Yeah.
And so it just depends on who the woman is and where you were at, where I was at when I met him versus, you know, with my ex.
Those rose-colored glasses. Let me tell you something. What they say, good will make a woman listen. Trying to tell you.
You know, there are these studies on the effects of sperm on a woman, and to basically fast forward, what it says is that it kind of makes you dumb and more compliant and sedates you, like the effects of actual like male sperm.
And not only that, we need to take into consideration when we sleep with these men, their DNA stays inside of us for a certain amount of time. So you are connected to this man over a period of time. That's why it takes so long to break the tie. He can get up and just go on about his way. He can get up and go because he done dumped all of him in us.
I think it's like 10 years. Like when I saw the
study,
it's like 10. Yeah.
That their DNA stay inside you for 10 years?
Yeah.
Yeah. And if you thoughting all over town, shit, how much DNA do you have inside you?
Baby.
A whole village.
She said a whole village.
Yeah,
you just a walking village of DNA. What?
Gross.
Let's look at the graphic. Protection. I really wanted to keep my marriage with Offset, but it reached a point where I couldn't convince myself to overlook his actions. We were married for 7 years. Y'all, every single month of the year, I caught this man cheating. I accepted all his children as my own and took them as family, but the cheating became unbearable. I understand he's a star and girls always want to be around him, but I'm a star too. I decided to humble myself and be a good wife to and a mother to his other children. He started acting like I didn't even matter. I always found myself begging for his attention, even when I was pregnant, punk ass. I'd tell him I'd have something important going on and he wouldn't take me serious. The only time he took me seriously was when I had to come online and shed tears on Instagram Live because he don't want his reputation ruined. All I ever needed was love and affection from my man, but he was clearly too busy looking elsewhere. And you know the cold part about it, I don't know if you guys know, and I don't even know if we have the graphic. I don't think we have the graphic, but he had his party. Cardi stayed home. This was back in December. Cardi stayed home because she's pregnant. He has a party, and the side chick that Cardi got in trouble behind, that she had to go to court behind, was at his party. Now the level of disrespect is insurmountable. I would have lost my mind.
But he's been doing it. He's been disrespecting her
And
so
that's the thing,
long.
Erica. So when you take a certain level of disrespect, it just gets worse and worse. They keep moving the bar and moving the bar and moving the bar. And then they just do some outlandish shit that you're just like, there's no way you could have done that. But it starts little. Oh, let me
Little.
just flirt.
And just see how
some text
far
messages.
when she gonna say something, how far can this go? She ain't saying nothing. She ain't did nothing. She's still here.
Right.
Sometimes, you gotta have a house, another closet, another whole address that he doesn't know anything about, so you can leave at will.
Right. So now here she is pregnant with her and the thing about it is, from what I hear from the attorney, is that she couldn't file for divorce while she was pregnant because everybody's like, you stupid, why you keep staying? Well, she couldn't really file for a divorce because in Georgia you can't divorce when you're pregnant. What the hell is that about? Did you know anything about that, Moya?
I've never heard of such a thing.
I mean, you can file, but they won't allow you to have it go through if you are pregnant. So when it came to her situation, that's probably why she's filing now, because she's close to term, because you don't want to rack up all those lawyers' fees and things like that and going between the courts, and you still cannot get that divorce.
So they won't allow you to file. So she didn't disclose.
No, you can file. You just won't, that your divorce can't be complete as a pregnant woman.
So if her filing early on, it would have just been lawyer fees for no reason, because they couldn't dissolve the marriage while she's still pregnant.
And yes, and at that time as well, December, she was definitely pregnant. They were separated, so they've been living at separate residences. So I think she was making calculated plans. She probably got advised to do certain things because she probably even, I don't know, I haven't checked any legal record, but if she was living at separate residences, she probably wanted to establish a date of separation so that they can kind of put like a clock or a time on what assets and things are like that looking. I think her request as far as divorce, I think she's looking for equitable distribution of their assets, and then I think maybe full custody. So she's not trying to even rake him like she probably can. I think she's kind of at a place where she's done it. She's trying to make this as like smooth as
possible. And let me tell you something, the path of least resistance is the path to go in divorce, because you could drag that shit out, and I promise you. But the thing I think about when I'm looking now, me being a person who was married for 132 years, don't I look good? 450. That getting married, for me, it doesn't really seem beneficial because of all the things you got to go through to get it out, or not. And you don't get married thinking you're going to get a divorce, but to have the government in your business. Because for me, I worked extremely hard to accumulate a certain amount of assets and all that stuff. And while I was willing to give it up equally, to have somebody else come in and say, no, you got to give this, and you got to give more, and you got to take less, and you got to do this, and have somebody else like tell you what you got to do with what you know that you worked hard for, is mind-boggling for me. So at this stage in my life, when I got 4 kids and I've worked so hard, and everything I work for is for them, to have somebody to get married at this stage and have somebody come in and say that somebody else can get my shit when it needs to go to my kids. And that's why proper estate planning is also very important, y'all. Making sure you have your trust and prenups and everything together. But the thing about it is, having a prenup, do you really get married to get a divorce? That's kind of a sign, but is it a business decision? What are your thoughts around that, Erica? Like, would you get married? And at this stage, would you get a prenup? And at this stage, what would you be looking at in terms of like, is marriage beneficial at this age for you? Now, I know Athena's a little bit younger. Moya, you're probably a little bit younger than us. And I know Tiara, you've never been married. So at this age, for everyone, is it beneficial? And I want each of you to answer that question.
I just turned 51 in August. I feel fabulous. My knees pop, but I feel great. And to be honest with you, I was in a domestic partnership for about 5 years, and I signed a prenup because, just in case, I was making a lot of money as a cruise director. And I said, if things go south, I don't want to be responsible to have to take care of you. And I'm so glad that I did. I'm really, really glad that I did. At this stage,
Erica, why did you opt for domestic partnership as opposed to marriage?
To be honest, I had doubts. And I figured I would put one foot in and one foot out. I was doing the marriage hokey pokey. Can't make a decision. I'm not gonna lie. We're gonna keep it a buck here. Since I wasn't paying attention a few minutes ago, we're gonna keep it a buck here.
Your ass was digmatized, and
it was good. It really was good. And then I realized, it wasn't as good as I thought it was. And then reality. Once I came out the trance,
yeah, right.
I'm really glad that I did have to see. I'm always about my money. Mm-hmm. Always. Ain't nobody gonna get in between me and my money because I work. When I work, I work. So I had those things put in place. The only thing I was responsible for is when things, did dissolve, is I promised to have 6 months of health insurance for him. And he did have that. He didn't use it, and that's not my problem. I kept my end of the deal. But you know what? I think
what was the benefit that you got out of it?
Well, he didn't have anything. He was supposed to be working on his business, and he didn't do that. And as time unfolded, I'm looking. Okay, no problem. And hey, because I had my money, I've never believed in joint bank accounts. I believe in 3 sets of accounts: his, hers, and ours. I don't do that. I don't commingle my money. Commingle my money.
So Moya, let me ask you the same thing. What are your thoughts around marriage and do you believe in marriage at this stage, and would you get a prenup?
Yeah, so I'm 40. I definitely would get married again. My main focus would be making sure, my biggest thing is I want to make sure our visions align. Like, do we see ourselves going in the same direction? It's not even so much what he does, what he has, what can he bring. Do we see, like, where do you want to go? And will we be an asset together to get there? And so that's how I would look at it.
Would you get a prenup?
Yeah. I mean, I'd be open to it. The idea is that he has more money than me. So I would okay.
That part right there, sis. What about you, Athena?
Okay, so I am 33 years old. I am open to marriage. It has to make sense for me, obviously. But, I believe that I'll be married at some point. I am open to prenups and postnup. This is how I view those things. A prenup and postnup is just you having that negotiation at that time before you actually reach a divorce. So if I'm marrying a man and he feels like he needs one or would prefer to have a pre-postnup, I have no problem negotiating the things I want up front. Mm-hmm. But, it's so surprising to me. The men who have actually brought that up during the dating process were men who didn't have any money. The ones who had money never even brought it up.
Lord, it's always the brokies talking.
Yeah, it's
income bracket.
I promise you, I have dated men who would probably need to have that conversation. I don't think they worry about it because they have their stuff already structured. So I don't think the need to discuss it in a dating point, but I think it's just a weird paradox that I've just noticed.
So you would get a prenup?
Yeah, I would sign one. I mean, he finna add to this, so I would sign one. I have no problem signing one. I'm not a gold digger. I'm not looking to take everybody for what they have. I'm not in a position where I'm worried about my financials right now. So I just feel like I'm in a very good space, and that's healthy to be, because women who are dating or engaging men, if you focus so much on the money, it will blind you, and you'll cause yourself to sign up for things that are just not going to work out for you long term. A lot of these rich men are not meant to even be paying attention at a lot of times.
And some people that get married for money, y'all, I just be like, I can't.
They're suffering. I know a lot of arrangements. I'm not built to suffer. So.
Yeah, right. That part. I'm not built to suffer. So it's just like y'all gonna take that for okay. Tiara, what are your thoughts? Would you get married, and would you require a prenup at this point?
Yeah, I definitely want to get married for sure. But like we said, I think we talked about this a couple days ago. It has to be like we got to do some business because that's like I like that, right? I like to work with my partner. It got to be love involved. There just has to be all of the things that make a good combination for me to feel like I want to spend the next 40 years of my life with you, right? Or 50 years or however long I live, right? So it just like it has to make sense. um it just has to make sense. And so I would sign a prenup. I would. That's fine. I mean, I don't mind that. I feel like we're going to build some things together. You're going to have what you have. I got what I have. And then we'll do some things together and we will be powerful together for sure. So, I'm not really worried about his money or whatever. Like,
But does
not
the
worried
white
about that.
man need to get involved for you guys to be be that? Does the white man really got to get involved?
Yes, because I need my name on a marriage certificate, a deed, and insurance policy. Okay.
That could happen without being married.
Mm-mm, mm-mm, mm-mm.
No?
My dad told me, because I had a conversation with my dad about this, I told him a lot of people aren't getting married now these days. And he told me, you better require a man to marry you. It's a mental thing. Like they have to make that decision mentally that they're committing to you. And they know the seriousness of marriage. That's why a lot of them try not to do it.
Y'all, I understand. And I'm so green to this because I was married 132 years. And I was just talking to April today about like, she's like, you graduated. You're no longer 16. Because after I got out of marriage, I was like a 16-year-old when I was out in these streets. She was like, you're in college now. And I'm like, I'm in college now. She's like, you're in college now. But all of this is so foreign to me because I do think about this because I haven't had a real serious, I've had some, I had some fun, but nothing like super serious. And so I ponder, I got kids and so I think about like, what would that look like? And I guess it just will be, but it's so foreign to me. And I don't know if I kind of take myself out of the equation because like, if there's nobody that remotely interests me in a way that I would be even willing to spend more than a lunch date with. And I haven't ran across that man as of yet. And so he's out there, but it's just, to me, it's just like, does this exist? Is this, in any case, y'all, I love when we have these conversations because they're so rich and they're just us being us. And we're talking about, different topics. We're talking about, we talk about different topics all the time that I think relate to who we are as women, who we are as Black women. And it's just our perspective. Sometimes we're really serious. Sometimes we're having fun, but we are here talking our truths, I believe. And I am with some of the most beautiful and brilliant minds in the country, Miss Athena, Miss Moya, Miss Erica, and Miss Tiara. This is Fly Nubian Money. So listen, every time we go live every day from Monday through Friday at 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific. But if you want to get notifications for when we go live, make sure you text the word Queens to 87948. Queens, Queens, to 87948. You can also check us out on Spotify. Just search for Fly Nubian Money. And you can, if you want to grow your money and not blow your money, you can search for Fly Nubian Money. Go to flynubianmoney.com for all the financial resources. I definitely want to go over to the comments and just kind of see what the people are thinking. Because, again, this is a dialogue and not a monologue. And I love what a lot of people have had to say about this. Ken Ryu said marriage is a wealth taker for men. And that's being presumptuous, presuming that the men are the breadwinners. Because, baby, in this economy and in this day and age, especially within our race, Black women are the ones that are doing it. We're the ones making the most money. We are the highest educated. We're starting businesses on another level. So you cannot say that old moniker that marriage is a wealth taker for men. That is absolutely unequivocally untrue. Look at Cardi B. Go back to that slide. Look at Cardi B. Her net worth is what? 80 million? I said it's 32 million now. I ain't in neither one of these stratospheres. However, this is not a situation where she is taking his wealth. She is not with him for the money. She is clearly with him for love. However, this happens. I want to say something, but I don't want to say it. Let's look at Infamous Hicks said modern day marriage don't benefit men because the courts and the way modern women act. So let me just explain something to y'all, because when you say it doesn't benefit men, in my situation, it didn't benefit me because I was the breadwinner. And so when I went to court, I was the only black woman, and you had this black man represented by a white woman. The judge was white, everybody was white, and they saw this black woman. They were like, "Oh, she all over social media, and she says she a millionaire, and she do this, and she got that." And these white bitches they hated that. And so every time there was anything, and it was so, I felt like I was in the Twilight Zone, I promise you, because I was like, this doesn't even make sense. Every single hearing was ruled against me. Every single one. And it didn't even make logical sense. Y'all, this man was late on the mortgage. I had bought him a house when we separated. He's late on the mortgage, right? I deal with this all the time because I'm a broker. People come to me, one spouse is late on their mortgage. They go to the judge. The judge says, listen, we're not about to mess up this person's credit. Take the house out of their name. Cool. I did that. I said, he's late on the mortgage, Your Honor. I just need you to take it out of my name. He got on the stand and said, the bank was down for a week. Ain't no banks down for a week. It would have been on the news, right? She goes, you know what the judge said? There was a bank snafu. He's right. So no, you agree to keep this house in your name for 48 months. You got to keep this house in your name for 48 months. Does that make logical sense? I've done this with clients as a broker. They saw my black ass and they was like, we ain't letting up. We gonna put this bitch in her place. And that was my experience. And I'm sorry I had to get on my soapbox for this, but for people to say that this is not for men, no, it's the person who I don't know. Because it wasn't no justice for your girl at all. They treated me like I was Dr. motherfucking Dre. Anyway, I'm sorry, I got a little emotional on that because I had a flashback. Because when men say, that women are gold diggers and this marriage is not good for men, no, I've been through that as a woman, and it was very unfair to me. But
I mean, not even from a like just a financial standpoint, right? It is like proven that women pour more of themselves. We just had this conversation before that women pour more of themselves into their marriages. They got to stay home and take care of kids. They got to cook. They got to work. They got to, they got to do all of these things. What was it? It was like, what did the book say? It was we add 7 hours of unpaid labor to our lives just by being married to a man, because we want to invest in his business and do all the things that women naturally do. We want to help. So, I just don't know if it's always beneficial for.
And then women also
men.
need to consider the value of what they do. And I actually talk about this since, my platform is about women. In my New Year, New Wealth workshop, I discuss how women are often expected to be the caretakers in their family. They take for the children. They might take off time from work to take care of elderly parents, or if a child has a disability or issue. On average, it's estimated that time away from working to support the family amounts to a little bit under 1 million over the course of a lifetime of a woman taking out time. We sacrifice like $1 million to do that. So I think that women need to, it's not just, I think men have these gripes because, they, in the situation where they're the one making the money, they're very focused on not losing. And I understand that. However, you need to give some value to the emotional and all kind of unpaid labor that women do. Because if you added up all those jobs and the salary as they are, you're really coming on top, right? Because I can understand, if I was just kicking up my feet and we just outsource every single piece of the work, but that's generally not the case.
I want to address Free Living Man. He said that's women's problems trying to take the place of a man. A tax bracket got them delusional. And I think that men are the ones that are more concerned with a woman's worth or money, because I think that in the case, because where I'm from, most women make more than their men. It's just the reality, right? And so for the people, but women do a really good job, in my opinion, of making men also feel like they're worthy and that they matter and that they are 100% partner. Like we don't count our worth by our pocketbook like men do. What do you think, Erica, about that comment where you talk about women not knowing their place and that kind
So
of delusional?
that statement kind of pisses me off because we can't win. We can't win. When women in the 60s, the 70s, and the 80s had to stay home and receive welfare for their 3, 4, 5 children, and he was out doing odd jobs, she held the house down then, and she supported him then. He had a full cooked meal then. His clothes was clean then, and still we do it. Now we bringing in multi-millions, and we still taking care of the kids. You still get a cooked meal. You still got on clean clothes. What the hell you want? What do you want? Do you want me home on welfare, or do you want me home with this 20 million? What the hell do you want?
What do you want?
Hold on, Tierra. So what do you think about what this brother talking about we don't know our place? What are your thoughts?
I think he's delusional. Like, I mean, clearly he hasn't dated a woman lately. It doesn't even matter what he says. Like, I'm not. Next question.
They want a lover and a secretary. That's what
they want a lover. I feel like what are you talking about? Like,
they want a wife. They want a wife appliance. They want a wife Swift Army knife. That's what they want. They want you to do.
Moya, what do you think?
This is my thing, though. I feel like there is, as women, we have to understand what is the balance of what women and men like, because I think what he's really speaking to is that when we're raising our kids, it seems that we raise, especially our Black daughters, to go out and be way more ambitious than our sons. Even me looking at my kids, right? I'll definitely ask my daughter, like, oh my gosh, I need help. Can you help me in the kitchen? Or can you help me get this? But I won't ask my sons that. So I think it's important to understand how we are constructing our kids and how will they show up in society? Because how do we have a balance there of she can be ambitious and great, but she also has a role to play within the dynamic of a household and a family and her husband.
I like that. What do you think about that and how I'll ask Tierra because you have a daughter. Do you think that, women are more, they treat their boys different than they treat their girls?
Absolutely. I mean, just like Moya just said, literally what I notice is that just in men around me, right? Just being in relationships before, I've dated men who have been coddled by their mother, right? They cannot kind of like, and you can tell just in the way they move. It's like when I'm like, okay, listen, we about to get it. This is what we about to do. He's like, I mean, well, like he just doesn't have that same that same enthusiasm. Yeah, he just doesn't have that. And so those are the men that I'm meeting, right? If men don't have to mature as fast as women, like Moya said, we start washing dishes at 5. Men don't have to do any of that. The man a man that I was dating, he just literally doesn't know how to cook. He was like, I don't know how to cook. The women in my house cooked everything for me. Nobody ever made me cook. So now he's in the world eating Hot Pockets.
You know what? My sons,
University.
My boys are like 6 foot. They're 16 to 18, and I clipped their toenails the other day. My mom was like, "Them boys ain't gonna be worth a damn." You out there clipping their
Wait a minute, you tipped their.
All right, do you clip your daughter's toenails? Do you clip
grown ass woman? No.
Okay, see, that's why. See,
what are you doing?
Because yes, they're
why
my babies.
Why did you do that?
Because his toenails were long. They needed to be clipped. So anyway.
Wait, girl, you're getting ready to be a topic, right?
However, wait.
Constance, you are the problem. You are the problem.
Wait a minute. I didn't say I was perfect, y'all. I didn't say I was perfect.
Every woman like, my mom used to clip my toenails. My mom used to do this for me.
Imagine him. Imagine his wife, right?
That's what I'm saying.
Listen, they gonna have to
Anyone.
step it up. They gonna have to step. But but they do. I do. Listen, I almost knocked my son's head off his shoulders yesterday too for telling me. I said, "Hey, go grab me something." He said, "Your legs work." So listen, I almost squared up on his ass because we're not playing them games either. I try to have a healthy balance, but I'm not perfect. My daughter's like, sometimes I question your parenthood with these boys because you are way softer on them than you are on me. But my situation has also changed too, in that I'm now a single mother, and and I'm home more and I'm seeing more. So yeah, I was a little bit more stricter with her. When you have your first kid, when you got 4, like you have your first kid, you are. I want them to have the best education. I want them to do. By that 4th one, they basically raising themselves at this point. I mean, they just kind of get away with a little bit more. But no, but I do believe that you have to instill in these kids, in these men. I just want my men to be great men, and I want to produce really good men for women, and so those are the things I try to teach them, the values. And one of the things my oldest son said when he went to college a couple of years ago, he was like, "Mom, everybody ain't nice. You try to tell me you raised me to be a gentleman, but everybody doesn't deserve gentlemanly treatment." And I'm like, "No, but you still got to be you regardless of how other people act." He's like, "Yeah, but you just think you're in this world where you just think everybody's nice." And I'm like, people are, they reciprocate energy. So if you just put good out there, you're going to get good back. But he's saying that he was basically casting his pearls among swine, because I'm telling him to treat people well, and he's like, they hoes. They don't deserve to get treated. I'm like, I don't give a damn if they hoes or not. You still treat them like ladies. You ain't got to hang around with the hoes. Huh?
Why are you around hoes though? Just leave the hoes alone.
This is the girls at the school.
Hoes is everywhere, B.
Hoes is everywhere. Hoes is getting educated. Hoes is in the club.
Hoes is.
However, let me do this. Let me give you y'all final thoughts. What do you guys think about the whole topic? No, seriously. Have you been in a situation? I will say this. What could you do early on to kind of prevent this from happening 7 years later? What are some things that I think that she could have done, or that maybe you do, or a lesson that you can share with other people that could be the differentiator for someone going through something like Cardi B?
See, she got into this so young. So I don't think she was prepared to really know what it took, not just for her to be a wife, but for him to be a husband. Because see, the Bible says a man shall find a wife, and he finds a good thing. You are found as a wife, but he has to have the eyes of a husband in order to identify that you are a wife. And I don't think she was mentally or emotionally or visually prepared to know what that looks like. So in defense of her, she just wasn't prepared. And I don't think there was anybody around to prepare her. Moving forward, I think seek counsel and be aware as to what it is that you truly want, and be honest with yourself. And not just be honest with yourself, but be honest with him. Like, can he be every man? I'm every woman. But can he be every man? Some men are good partners in relationship, but not good partners in business. So you have to identify that.
So let me ask you this, and this is the question I want to ask everybody. When is it time to walk away? Athena.
When love is no longer being served.
How do you know? How do you recognize that? When is it time to walk away?
For me, I can only speak about, I've been engaged in stuff before. When you are not spiritually aligned, similar to what Moya said earlier, when our visions do not align. And I do believe in relationships, there needs to be a level of flexibility. There is an ebb and flow. I completely understand that. But even in Cardi B situation, as an example, if she knew during the dating process, she said she caught him cheating every month. Like,
that first month should have been
that first month, I would have been out. Right? That first month, I would have been out. It's so funny. I had 2 people comment to me this week that my cutoff game is so strong, which is true. Like, as soon as I don't know, I might need to work on it a little bit, but as soon as you do something that indicates that this is a do not pass go, do not collect $200 situation, I will pivot so quick. Like, you will not see or hear from me. I'll be like Casper the Ghost. So But I really do believe that as women, we need to look at, is this the experience I want to have? Is this a relationship I want to have? And just be honest with yourself. Don't try to put on any kind of rose colored glass for the situation, because it just ends up hurting you more.
All right, Moya, when is it time to walk away?
I feel like it's time to walk away when you feel like you're not able to authentically show up as yourself. When you feel that you either have to shrink, or when you feel that he's not giving you what it is that you're looking for in this next stage that you want to be at. So therefore you have to pivot and do what Erica said, like and you attempt to change. So anytime you have to destroy who you are authentically, then it's time to walk away.
Ooh, but how do you know that you've destroyed who you are authentically? How do you recognize that?
When you're unable to be who you are, when you find yourself making decisions that you would normally say yes to, but you're going to say no to because you don't want him to feel a certain way.
Lord Jesus, I did that for 30 years. All right, Tiara, when is it time to walk away?
I think you feel it. I think you feel it. I think women, we have this magic, this intuition, that we just ignore a lot of the time. I think we feel it in our gut. I happen to believe that feeling, that GPS that's inside of us is God, and it really is our guide. And he's saying like, okay, like it's time to make a difference. It's time to pivot and go that way. It's time to change business partners. It's time for you to change careers. It gives us everything right down, like right inside us. And I feel like with men, it's no different. When you wake up and be like, that was different. It'd be subtle, but we ignore and ignore and ignore and ignore. And before we know it, it's this big ball. So I would just say, like, when maybe we'll ignore that first time, and maybe even the second, but by the third time, if you're having we have physical, like your body is having a visceral reaction to this person, and you still won't acknowledge it, right? Like, I think it's time to go then, because it has too much of a stronghold on you, and it has too much of a power. But if you can step away if you can kind of, and it's hard to separate yourself from those feelings. Like, in the moment, it feels like it's so strong, and that you can't separate yourself from the feeling of it. And but if we can figure out how to do that, then I feel like we would be much better off in the beginning, early.
I think if you can figure out a solution to that, I think you will be a millionaire, because the detachment is real. When you are so detached, and you know that this person is not right for you. I know that I should not be in this relationship. I know that the way they make me feel, it's not good, but I just can't seem to, that soul tie. I just can't seem to pull myself away from it. And that's the thing that I think so many people get caught up. This man cheated on you month after month after month for 7 years. And you cannot detach yourself.
At some point, do you say, like, I'm more important? Self is more important. Tiara is more important. Like, whatever Cardelita, whatever her name is, Cardelita Beasis is more important. Whatever Bel Calise is more important. Whatever her name is, at some point you got to say, like, I'm more important than this person. Like, my mental health, my emotional health, I am more important.
And understand, that man is not going to change. He's not. You can't love it out of him. You can't be a better cook. You can't get more WAP. None of it. Because he's going to do, it's innately in his character. And unless there's something, I think, spiritual that happens to this man, this is what you're going to get as long as you stay with him. And I think when you realize, this is my life, and how long do I really want to do this?
And the more you tolerate him, the more he will disrespect you as an individual. The more you tolerate, the less respect you get from him, his friends, his parents, his family. You will have the least amount of respect, but you're giving the most of yourself. And that's when you have to have an understanding of it's time to go.
He kind of resents you a little bit.
Yeah.
He kind of resents you a little bit. Like
Yeah.
the disregard is like it changes the way they feel about you. You know,
Yeah,
what
like
I mean?
you can't do no better than this. You're not gonna say nothing. Like
When
all
men
right.
when men realize that they are not the prize, because I think so much we've made them feel like they are the prize when we should be the prize, and so they think, oh, she ain't gonna find nobody better than me. She ain't gonna leave me. She gonna be here when I decide to circle the block, or when I decide to act right. She gonna be right here because she been here. That's what she gonna do.
Do we act like the prize though? Because I don't see a lot of prize behavior.
No, we're not. You know why? White supremacy. And Boyce and I've had this conversation, but it is.
It's always white supremacy.
White supremacy. She be like, you know why? White supremacy. Go ahead, Constance. Tell us.
Tell you why. Because the industrial prison complex system has locked up a lot of our men. Then you have a good portion of our men that are not heterosexual. So we don't have the pick of good men. We are out. And then, then the other men that we have, they dating outside their race, which we refuse to do. So now we got to throw that thing on these Negroes ASAP in order to compete. And so the reason why we don't act like the prize is because it's a consummate competition. White supremacy.
Scarcity. I don't believe it. I
believe in staying my own lane ministries. There's no need to compete, right? When you start competing, you go down a scarcity mindset.
But I'm saying that's the reason why they do. But they do though. That's why women ain't waiting. That's why they giving it up on the first night, because it's like if she don't do it, she will, because they will. She will. Somebody will. These women ain't loyal. These hoes is not loyal. And for MC Fact, who don't like me cussing, you're going to have to either get off here or plug your ears, baby, because I curse and I love Jesus, and I'm sorry. So every time I come on here, I may curse. I may not. So anyway, you guys, where can they find y'all? We got to get up off here.
Well, who do you want to talk to?
We found that Faith. I'm sorry.
You got to say somebody.
Moya.
I hate to do that.
Moya, I DM'd you yesterday, by the way. Moya, where can they find you?
You can find me on Instagram at moya.business.
I found you on Instagram and I DM'd you. Why don't you?
You did?
Back? Yes. Athena, where can they find you, baby?
Listen, ladies, if you want to make sure you are in a pristine financial situation so you can walk away at a moment's notice at any point in time, you can find me at We Wealth Women, where I teach ladies to confidently level up in their finances and usher into their wealthy goddess era. You can also find me at We Wealth Women on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, and listen to my podcast, the We Wealth Women podcast, on Apple, Spotify, and iHeart.
I love it all. What about you, Miss Erica? I'm looking at these comments. What about you, Erica?
I can be found at faithandtransition.com and over all socials at Miss Erica Renee.
Okay. What about you? And I didn't say the majority of Black men are not hetero. I said the ones unavailable, y'all. So anyway, I'm sorry. I got distracted by the comments.
I'm gonna let you take a minute to address the comments if you want.
What I was saying was a lot of our men are in prison, and then we have a good majority that are a good amount that are not heterosexual, and then you have a good amount that date outside our race. We don't date outside of our race in the same manner that they do. And then there are a lot of eligible women that just don't have eligible Black men. And so therefore they begin to compete, is what I said. But anyway, go ahead, Tiara.
Man, you ain't got to explain to these people. We know what you said. We know what you said.
Someone said the majority of Black women are having babies with the same pookies. So everybody just having sex with the same man and having kids.
All right. Okay.
You said the majority.
Clearly this is a hot topic for people.
I love it though. I love the engagement. I'm sorry, Tiara.
Yes. Listen, if you have a story, clearly everybody has a story, right? If you have a story and you want to turn that story into making money, you can. I've spent the last 25 years of my life mastering the art of storytelling. And so I want to help you. If you have had your heart broken and you want to take that story and make some money, you tell me, you call me. I'm at info@therealnetwork.net, or you can hit me at Miss Black Hollywood. That's MSBLACK Hollywood across all platforms.
And the presumptions that we were all raised by single parents can go to hell, because
Okay, Constance, go ahead.
I was not raised by single parents.
No. Okay, go ahead. Okay. Tiara, what we gonna look at real quick?
I'm saying, like, where you want to go? You got to give me the time code. Like, who's talking?
This mother said, who was
time?
that? Free black man at 2:15.
Okay.
He said these black women were raised by single mothers and don't have husbands today.
Constance had a husband. She just got rid of him, and I'm sure Moya did the same.
years. And I was raised by my mama and my daddy, baby. And my parents are not together today, but they are best friends. What about you?
Listen.
I think we all have fathers in our lives. Oh, he meant black women today. Okay, he wasn't talking about us because I got a little offended. You know what I'm saying?
Oh my God, I'm having so much fun with this. I think we should wrap up. But
let's go.
Like, I'm gonna let you live a little bit.
No. Listen, we gonna get off of here. We are here Monday through Friday. Make sure you text words Queens to 87948 if you want to be notified every time we come on. Every day, Monday through Friday, 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific, same time, same bat channel. Y'all keep these comments coming because we're gonna talk about y'all when we get off here anyway. We love y'all. We'll see you tomorrow.
It said all there's left is city girls. Yo, what?
See, I love it. I don't throw out these contentious comments because I love it when they talk back to us because I'm gonna talk shit with you.
City girls, honey.
Bye, y'all.
Bye, y'all. See you tomorrow.
Listen.
Shit, free living.